of Kittens and Broken Things, Chapter 47. Collector vessels fell to Edie, one after the other, with Shepard on the Citadel, remotely doing her research and feeling more smug than she had in a long time. Possibly ever. Yes, it was only collectors and they weren't reapers, only relatively mindless minions, but it felt really good to see interspecies camaraderie raised as millions of people from all different species were returned to homes, given homes if none remained to them. She had 7 vessels in 9 weeks: Taurian, Drell, Hanar, Batarian, Human, Asari, and Vorcha. Okay, there wasn't much in the way of Vorcha camaraderie, but she still felt good about it. Nobody deserved to be collected. She had sent a polite and clear package of information to Valerne with a flowchart of if-then statements and outcomes. She had enough information to excise the Solarian Union seat, and Thane agreed, but she wanted to try to avoid removing them from power if equilibrium could be reached. Stability and continuity without power vacuum was valuable enough to be attempted. It would be best if the Council grew to encompass more sentient species, and although she had no plans to push for that, ideally there should be more representation, not less. Added and not subtracted seats. Maybe not for the Vorcha. She was probably not unbiased on the subject of Batarians. It wasn't likely, fortunately. So she informed Valerne that if contracts on the life of Commander Shepard or Garrus Vakarian were known to exist, then certain things would happen. Release of even more sensitive classified material, as well as very effective investigations into the source of said contracts. A helpful brief was attached on the subject. Other potential things mentioned that could be released, such as illegal funding sources, research into the illegal, and continued covert uplifting plans. The fact that they had not recovered a Solarian vessel wasn't on purpose. They would continue to recover them, and no bias against Solarians would take place in Commander Shepard's mission. If the Solarian Union stuck to advancing legitimate research, which was an excellent contribution to galactic causes, fully deserving of a council seat, then there would be no then. If the Solarian Union continued to uplift Yogg or any other species, leverage would be brought to bear to oust the Solarians from the Council, seeing as the uplifting of Krogan had been a disastrous affair, now requiring reparation. By the way, a definite if surrounding the sabotage of the attempt to reverse the genophage definitely applied. It remained that the Solarians were isolated in their need to seek power, and it was now well known. Only Solarians or Reaper agents would benefit from removing Shepard from her mission or subverting the Krogan. So if those things happened, heavily weighted information hammers would fall. She was of the opinion, analysis attached, that the uplifting of species was a deeply flawed system, creating pawns from sentient creatures best left to their own paths. Solarians needed to gain allies, not create minions. Therefore, the human, Taurian, and Asari counselors would attempt to treat the Solarian counselor as an ally, aid all legitimate research generously. For a brief time, as a political olive branch, a ridiculous amount of funding would be available for projects that were aimed toward the purpose of allied technical advances and opposing Reapers, for which the Solarians were best suited, and those Solarians removed from uplifting and illegal projects would be offered new, well-paid and well-funded positions. Scientific amnesty to be revoked only upon future discovery. Past discovery potentially buried if suspended immediately. If contracts persisted in Commander Shepard's name, or if contracts arrived to target any of the other 3 counselors, Vakarian, Anderson, or Tevos, there would be no need for a public offering of contracts upon Solarian interests. There would be a preemptive strike. Vaguely implied enough so that it could sound like she'd submit a sharp note of reprimand, but it really involved Thane, who in fact insisted on the offer and the wording. The Solarian Union should do their best to monitor and halt any Black Ops attempts at power grab, redirecting abundant resources toward ally and not minion, as mentioned above. Of course, there was the risk of Valoran crying out that he was being blackmailed, but if that was attempted, all Shepard would do would be to point out that it was not blackmail, but an attempt at working together, the conditions of a great deal of funding being don't kill people and don't subjugate other races. Not his best bet to make it public, in essence complaining that a council spectre was attempting to make him do his job. She didn't hear back, but the contract on her life was withdrawn. Valoran addressed the closure of obsolete research and was inspired to provide new direction, which was funded quickly. Thane was satisfied that the withdrawal of the threat was legitimate, but still recommended the highest of security levels. No socializing, no fake public relationship, personal concerns having been outstripped by professional prudence. Thane's lips had twitched as he said, "Far too many things have been deferred until the uncertain future. I mourn the loss of the opportunity, but prefer your continued living." That was nice, considering she was supposed to meet up with him after, and thankfully he hadn't taken that as a suicide pact. Oh, that was a terrifying thought. Don't think that. She was pretty sure that if he killed her to move things along, he was aware she might object, unless she didn't remember. Oh, Manipar were complicated. She didn't bring it up because she didn't want to give him any belated ideas and took the continued living statement as a hopeful sign. She had leaned up on tiptoe and kissed at his frill with a thank you, and his palm had come to the back of her head. Family and warmth. Garrus had muttered,
He's moving out of your quarters?
"Got that covered, yes."
Now?
Soon?
I like now more.
I know, but I can deliver soon. Kara was grateful for no high heels. Everyone was reasonably happy, and Thane was able to get some sleep by latest report. The collector ships were refitted to house and accommodate her own forces, and the push to the collector base was ready to go. Once again, she hadn't left her apartment. She felt stable, supported, optimistic, and spent her time split between Kolyat and Thane, Garrus and Russ. Garrus and Kara was her favorite combination. And study, of course, study, moving on from the relatively resolved Solarian issue to all things collector, and several things Sooth and Geth, because after the collectors, that came next. Counselor Vicarian was just as optimistic as she was about the push to the collectors, so asked repeatedly, at least once an hour, for a bunk on the Normandy, or more precisely, a bunk, her bunk, their bunk, on whatever collector ship she was manning on her way into the base. There was a flood of volunteer, council race, and rescued race forces set to fill those vessels. He kissed the back of her neck and said,
Ava, let me go with you.
"No." She didn't stop answering that way. He didn't stop asking. Fortunately, he let her sleep without waking her by the hour, or she'd have to get rowdy with the pillow. There were some sleepy, reverie-washed murmurings, but she didn't hold them to be legally binding because she couldn't remember them. He argued.
The entire situation looks like it's easy in and out at this point. Looks like you can disable and scour the base.
Yep.
So let me go with you.
No.
Why?
She took his face between her hands, pinkies under his mandibles, assured of her decision and not budging before the overwhelmingly reverie-aided and handsome Taurian of warm voice and sure persuasion. Because no.
That's not an answer.
It's the only one you're getting. The real answer was that, yes, it was going to be easy, but she agreed with Garrus that his addition to the ship would be after Reaper invasion, and not before. They had that goalpost set, and she was not going to move it.
Tell me why.
Because no. He persisted, and she resisted, and she was getting the hang of arguing and the way of words under reverie. Garrus could mean so many things. So could no. She could keep him out of the line of fire for only a short time, and she was going to take that opportunity because once Counselor Vicarian was on the Normandy, she was never, ever getting him off, and they were both sure of that. I grabbed her arm one day and said,
Unlock your Omni tool.
"Why?"
Because I said so.
So she did. He installed a program she was familiar with, medical monitoring and transmission of vital signs and stress factors. She sighed. He kissed the top of her head.
Thanks.
Garrus, that's intrusive.
Yep, if I can't go, that's going. You won't tell me no because you're not that kind of unreasonable. Plus, I'm going out to the collector vessel rendezvous with you on the Normandy.
You are?
Yep, monitoring and stuff. That's what counselors do. I'm monitoring my assets.
You are intrusive and obnoxious.
That too.
She shrugged. All right.
Really? While you're being reasonable, I want to go with you on the collector vessel.
No.
Damn.
Her Omnitool alerted, and she hoped it wasn't Garrus's new program trying to get her to stay hydrated. Oh, Edie just got a Solarian collector vessel.
Nice. That'll make for happy Solarians.
Happy, well-funded Solarians.
We're going to achieve peace and cooperation in our time, Kara.
Go us!
Right. So let me on your ship.
No,
All right. Contact the Solarians.
I'm on it. Just making sure they don't also get a transmission of my blood sugar while I'm at it.
They might find that interesting.
Intrusive and obnoxious, Garrus.
That's me. You forgive me and you love me because you're that wonderful.
She sighed, but was too happy about Solarian life, so she leaned up on tiptoes until he picked her up and held her at kiss level for a long, lingering inevitable. Then they both got back to work. Kara hesitated for a while, thought, considered, paced, discussed it with the inanimate, discussed it with Carousel, pondered. She contacted Russ and blurted, "Hey, you're here often, but I'm always here, and you're always welcome here, but how about you ask Garrus out on a date?" Russ stared at her and blinked. She started over. I mean, you two don't get time privately, and I am trying to do the right thing here. Make sure you have some time alone with your man. My man, Garrus. Russ busted up laughing, and she pressed her lips together. You getting sick of your bondmate? What? No, never. I don't want to monopolize him. You're important to him. He's important to you. You've both spent so much time talking about me or around me. I want you to have some time that's about you, if that makes sense. I'm intruding and I'm assuming, but that's because I don't want to continue to intrude just by breathing and being here like I have before. I feel guilty that you don't have time doing Turian things. Turian things? She waved her hand, but the hand was the one with her Omni tool, so she steadied the camera again and said, "Look, do you want him or not? I'm not ordering you or anything. Russ, you're important, and I can't ask you out on a date to show you you're important. I can get out of your way." Well, ma'am, that's one of the weirdest and nicest things I've heard. I'm trying. You're succeeding. Want me to buy him something pretty? If it's a gun accessory, he won't say no. All right. He's gonna need a gun soon. Really? Yeah, I think he's coming back on board once Reapers attack, so he's looking forward to that. A gun won't get dusty. Good news. Let's stay alive until then, and after, okay? Plus him alive. Plus him alive. Deal, ma'am. Thank you. Get yourself something pretty too. She rushed to hang up while Russ laughed until he was coughing. She dropped her arm, stared at the ceiling, and told Carousel, "I suck at this." But she felt better. Garrus did call later.
So, it appears I have a date with Orbiston? I think that's what he said. He couldn't stop laughing.
Maybe I should have talked to you first?
No, this is good. The guy needs to laugh more often. You're sure you're not sick of me?
Never.
Okay, we're going to go do Turian things.
Never going to hear the end of this, am I?
That you're entirely incompetent and tender-hearted and kind? Probably not.
Okay, just checking.
Are you going to buy the pretty things?
Put it on my tab.
You're the best.
She hoped he didn't mean the best at being incompetent, but she felt even better now that it was over and everyone was laughing at her, but there would be Turian things happening. They would be leaving tomorrow for the collector mission. Garrus was out with Russ. Garrus was coming by later and also traveling out with the Normandy because she couldn't tell him no. She would not let him bring a gun, though. And he was not going on the mission. He was not. She was the best at no. She was the best at no. Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling him that. We've progressed to extra emphasis because regular no is fading in its efficacy. Upgrading to no. Thane and Kolyat were there for dinner, a rhythm of drell meals of fruit and fizz. So many carbonated springs on Rakana that water was rarely lacking fizz unless it was boiled into tea. Lots and lots of combo fruit fizz, though Thane stuck with tea. Kara had been sipping Kolyat's favorites and had a few of her own. Gallifin fruit fizz was fantastic. Thane rarely spoke, but Kolyat was effusive, loving, and joyous, wide gesticulating arms telling stories, the best he could find and bring home to them. Garrisol was as usual, on Thane's lap, zonked. The presence of Kolyat made Kara more often feel much more like Thane's daughter, and Thane's fatherly silent pride extended to her. The evening ended with Kolyat offering a prayer for the mission, her overconfidence reflected in the lack of solemnity and Thane's lighter mood, Kolyat's ebullient fizz transferring to them both. Blessings of Amankira were invoked in the lyrical delivery of Kolyat, invocations of success for the hunt, the pride of clan and their Tassak, the trackers of the clan. She knew that was what Irika had called Thane, and it suited him. She was an honorary Tassak for the evening, the mantle placed around her shoulders gently by Kolyat. The sand does not remember through shift and scorch. Signs pass, but the quarry remains. The eyes of the Tassak must see through time, must know the path, must know the way, must know the mirage from the spring, must know what was to see, to what will be. Must know. Amankira, may they know, may they see, may they come home with praise for you on their lips. She smiled, and Thane's hands moved to the backs of their heads, kissing at foreheads in silent agreement with prayer. His Amen. Amankira, make it so. May I be worthy. Thane was with Kolyat, Garrus was with Russ, and she felt like a good commander with a good crew that had family. She tried to wait up for Garrus, but she was tired, reclined on the couch to read, a still zonked cat on her lap. She blinked. Her eyes slowly closed, and Lilac went into sleep mode the same way she did, a timed release into the dark. She woke up in Garrus's arms, sitting down in front of the plate glass window, looking out at the citadel. His fingertip stroked her cheek. Carousel transferred with pleased pride of place to his shoulder. He said,
So many places out there I want to take you. I want to walk with you, hold your hand.
I want to hold your hand, too.
I can't even think of where to go first. It doesn't matter. I found all the places that are great bakeries for humans, all the beautiful garden spots, and I don't even care about that. I want to walk there holding your hand.
Tell me about them. They pointed to some, or pointed to walls, directions, trees, and historical monuments, museums and stores for human things, places he hadn't been to physically but had picked out from remote research, wanting to hear two sets of feet echo and two hands held on the way.
Kara, when the Reapers attack, I am claiming you as my bondmate, and I've decided that will be true. We're going to walk somewhere holding hands, and we're going to walk on the Normandy. I will have had new and old guns transferred there, and I'm going to try them all out one by one to see which one is best and adjust them every day until it makes you crazy.
Okay, Garrus Fanning.
This means I'm looking forward to the Reaper invasion. It's weird.
Yeah,
Let me go with you tomorrow.
no,
I'm going to ask you every day, and then one day you won't say no.
yes.
That's a yes? I can go?
You're a little drunk, Fanning. That's a yes to another thing.
I'm a lot drunk. Russ was thorough. Say yes to everything.
No,
I probably could have predicted that if I weren't so drunk.
someday, on our worst day, it will be yes.
I've had my worst day. On that day, we take the Normandy to Palaven.
What? She's my ship. I say where she goes.
Say she goes to Palaven.
Okay, she goes to Ballon. Not today.
I can wait. Be careful.
Yes, sir.
Don't tell anybody, but I am really, really looking forward to the Reaper invasion.
Don't worry. I won't repeat that to anybody.
Take me with you.
No,
Damn.
please kiss me.
No. Just trying that out. I don't mean it. Ask again.
Please kiss me?
You talked me into it.
Yay.